Shalom and welcome back to Israel with Aline. Today we are going to discover 7 must-see and still unknown places inside the old city of Jerusalem. We are going to visit ancient Christian sites, underground tunnels connected to masonry, and also a place connected to Brazil, right in the middle of Jerusalem. All that and much more. So if you're ready, let's get started. And we're already at our first location. We're on the rooftop of Yeshiva Aish HaTorah, a center for Jewish biblical studies. And coming up here, we have an amazing viewpoint. I think, in my opinion, it's the best view in all of Jerusalem. Here, right next to us, we can see the Christian quarter, the Muslim quarter. Of course, in all its splendor, we see the Dome of the Rock, the place where the Temple of Jerusalem used to be. Looking a little further down, we can already see the Western Wall, and behind that, we see the Mount of Olives, the place where Jesus made his triumphant entry. The entrance to the roof of Aish HaTorah costs 10 shekels per person. But it's really worth coming here and taking wonderful photos. But there's one more special thing about this place, and it's right here. Look at this perfect model of the Second Temple of Jerusalem. It was made with the smallest details. It's even made from the same type of stone that the Jerusalem Temple was originally built with. And also, the location of this model is special because we are right next to the Dome of the Rock, the place where the Jerusalem Temple actually stood. So, we can come here, admire this model, and imagine what Jerusalem looked like in biblical times, in the times of Jesus. And now let's go to our second place. Our next place is already here, right under my feet. Down here is the largest artificial cave in the whole country. It's amazing that it's right here. There are miles and miles of tunnels. But the entrance to this mysterious cave we're going to see is outside the walls. So now we are going to cross through the Damascus Gate, leave the walls, and visit this special place. We're arriving at King Solomon's Quarries, also known as Zedekiah's Cave. And this eye here already shows us that we're arriving at a truly unique place. And the entrance is right here. This cave is known as King Solomon's Quarry because this is where he took stones for the construction of Jerusalem, including Solomon's temple. Another name for this place is Zedekiah's Cave because this is where King Zedekiah from the Bible hid when he was fleeing from Nebuchadnezzar and the Babylonians. The cave is 20,000 square meters, and many mysterious archaeological finds have been discovered here, such as a possible stone cherub, but it was taken to England and, unfortunately, is hidden from the public. And another mysterious thing about this cave is its connection to Freemasonry. The Freemasons consider this place very important to their history. And once a year, they hold a big gathering here, and only Freemasons are allowed to enter on that day. Now we're going to visit the Austrian Hospice together, but not the kind of hospice you're thinking of. The Austrian Hospice of Jerusalem is an inn for pilgrims, and there are some very special things inside here that we're going to discover now. Here we have a little piece of Europe in the middle of the Middle East. This place was built by the Austrians, and that's why you can really feel it here. And you'll see it even more when we go inside. It was built in 1856 as a guest house for pilgrims, for tourists here in the Holy Land. And one of the very distinguished people who stayed here was Dom Pedro II from Brazil. So since he passed through here, we are also going to get to know it together. Walking around here is like a journey through time. We can see on the walls the historical photos as well as the photos and portraits of very important people and authorities who have visited this place. And among these authorities, we have here the photo of Dom Pedro II, the Emperor of Brazil. And here, besides seeing a little piece of Europe, we can also taste a bit of European food. This cafe is one of the best in the old town, and it serves Austrian food here. I'm also going to stop now and have a snack with you. Look how special this place is. Every time I come in here, I really can't believe I'm in the middle of the old city of Jerusalem. And now we're going to order my favorite dish here, which is Apfelstrudel, a kind of apple cake. Let's order. The Apfelstrudel costs 24 shekels, and in just a little while I'm going to give you a very special tip on how you can also bring money to Israel and pay easily with fewer fees. But for now, guys, my Apfelstrudel is already here waiting for us, and we're going outside now to enjoy it. Look, this is the place for our snack. We have our table here, which is nothing more, nothing less than a 2,000-year-old column. This is our snack table for today. But I want to take this moment to tell you something. I often see you asking me in the comments that you want to travel to Israel and want to know how to bring money. But guys, after all this talking, I'm even hungrier. And now it's finally time for us to eat our Apfelstrudel. So, as we say in Hebrew, beta von. Here you go. Guys, beta von. And one more thing we can do here at the Austrian Hospice is go up to the top floor. And there's another beautiful view of Jerusalem. We are now walking in the Christian quarter of the old city of Jerusalem. You can also see that from the church that's right here, just behind me. This is the famous Church of the Holy Sepulchre, and our next stop is right here next to it, just a few meters away. The place we're going to visit is right here next to us. But I couldn't come here without mentioning it to you. The 9th station of the Via Dolorosa. The Via Dolorosa, which goes all the way to the Holy Sepulchre, is divided into 14 stations, and each station marks an important event on Jesus' journey. And the 9th station is the place where Jesus had one of his falls on the way to Calvary. And now, come to discover this place, you could say it's a secret that we're going to visit. This is Helena's church. It's a Coptic Orthodox church, which means they are Egyptian Christians. But the reason we came here today is right inside this hall. Oops! This place is a little hard to get into, but it's really worth it for us to check it out. Shalom. Listen to the echo in this place. Where are we? We are in a cistern, a water tank. It was built in the 4th century by Helena, the mother of Constantine, the same person who built the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. And there are people who even believe that this cistern is older than that. So at the very least, this cistern is almost 1700 years old. This was one of the main water reservoirs of Jerusalem in ancient times. Literally, it was the water that gave life to the city. And it's impressive to see that it's still working to this day. You can also hear the water that keeps flowing in here constantly. And we can see that it's really full. A huge amount of water, even though we don't use this water for drinking anymore these days. But something very special is that some of the priests from Jerusalem come here to sing because of the echo in this place. And here they prepare the chants, they prepare the psalms to later recite them in the churches throughout the city. And now our cameraman Mochi will sing a song for us so we can hear the echo in this place a little better. It's truly amazing to see that we're in the middle of the old city of Jerusalem. We went down into the depths and we come across a place like this. I'm not the most in tune person, so I let Mochi sing for you. But now we're going to go up, leave the depths, and visit our next place. This group that's praying now, they're Arabs, Christians, and Israelis. I mean, they're Arab by origin, Christian by faith, and their nationality is Israeli. We've just left the Coptic Church of the Egyptian community, and look where we've arrived. This place, I think, is one of the best examples of what Jerusalem is. Here there's an Egyptian church, and beneath my feet there's a Greek church. This dome, by the way, belongs to that church. In the background, we see an Ethiopian monastery, and that gentleman who's passing by is actually a priest from there. Also in the background, we see a white tower. That is the tower of the Church of the Redeemer, a Lutheran church. Look at this small piece of land. How many churches and how many communities are gathered here. Because after all, Jerusalem is the heart and the origin of Judaism and Christianity. And this city attracts all those who have faith in God. And our next stop is already right here. That little door is the entrance to the Ethiopian church that we're going to visit now. Ethiopia is one of the first Christian countries in the world. They still have a large Christian community there to this day. And the Bible has been in Ethiopia for a very, very, very long time. And we can see this story represented here in this painting. It tells us the story of the meeting between King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba. And we can see there the meeting between the Holy Land and Ethiopia since that time. And we have several other passages that tell about the faith of people who came from that country. For example, the story of the eunuch who meets Philip and is baptized. One interesting thing about the Ethiopian church is that they keep that passage from the Bible. Take off your shoes, you are entering holy ground. What God says to Moses, they still follow to this day. And that's why when they enter the main part of the church, where it's really the place for prayer, they go in without shoes. And that's why we can see that the whole church is covered with carpets. So the person comes here, takes off their shoes, and can go in. And that's also why they put this wooden stick here to block the entrance, so that people who aren't aware don't accidentally enter the church area, which is the holy area, with their shoes on. And now we continue our tour along the stone part. And as you saw, this church has 2 floors. The construction as we see it today is from the Crusader period. That means this structure is 900 years old. And you can see here once again the church floor covered with carpets. The most important part, which is the altar, is behind this curtain. And we're going to leave the church, and right here, exactly in front, is the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. And here you can see that around me there's a lot of construction going on. And that's because the Church of the Holy Sepulchre has been under restoration for several years. It's not new construction but restoration. And we can see here that the work is in full swing. But even with the construction, you can see that there are several groups of tourists and pilgrims still visiting this place. We are on the Christian Quarter Street, the Christian neighborhood, and here we can see these beautiful, colorful umbrellas that brighten up the scenery. But the most important thing isn't above our heads, it's actually beneath our feet. These stones that I and everyone else here are walking on are original from the Roman period. So on the way to our next stop, we're walking on stones with 2,000 years of history. We're back in the Muslim quarter, and this street next to me is called Cotton Merchant Street. And we're going to walk through it to get to our next place. If we go straight in this direction, this entrance leads right in front of the Dome of the Rock. But this entrance, on a daily basis, is only allowed for Muslims. Our way is through this small entrance over here. And now we're really going to walk through a series of small alleys. Here we can see already written on the wall, the small Wailing Wall. Now we're going to an unknown secret part of the famous Wailing Wall. After all, what is the Wailing Wall? The wall is an outer wall of the Jerusalem temple complex and was built 2,000 years ago. And the wall, it was gigantic. It was 1/2 kilometer long. But when we go to the traditional Western Wall today, we only see 60 meters. Where is most of that wall? The more than 400 meters that are hidden? What happened is that in these last 2,000 years, the city of Jerusalem kept growing and building new structures. And part of the buildings covered the original Western Wall, like for example here. We can see that this building covered part of the wall, and a small section of the wall was left exposed beyond that traditional part. And this is exactly the small Western Wall, a part of the Western Wall in the middle of the Muslim quarter. We have to walk through small alleys to get here, but when we arrive, we have a great privilege. We have a part of the Western Wall just for ourselves. Look how wonderful. You can come here, pray, and have a moment truly just for yourself. And also the advantage of this part of the Western Wall is that it is mixed between men and women. So entire families can come here and pray together. So when you are in Jerusalem, this is a good tip for a place to visit that's different and still unknown. And walking through the alleys of the old city, we arrived at Ararat Street, where our next place is located. You can also look it up on Google Maps as St. Marc Church. And it's exactly this church right behind me. This church is home to the last community that still speaks Aramaic here in Jerusalem. So let's go inside and take a look. Shalom.
Shlomo.
Shalom means hello in Hebrew. Shlomo is shalom, hello in Aramaic. So, how are you all doing?
I'm good. And you?
I'm good, thank God. Guys, this is Dario Bulos. He is a priest here at the church, and please, can you tell us where we are?
We believe that in this place, Jesus celebrated the last Passover, and the Holy Spirit was poured out on the disciples, and he washed the feet of his disciples here in this place.
This is a very special place, as he just said, but there is also something special that is done here. Since this is the last community that really speaks Aramaic here in Jerusalem, Dario Bulos does calligraphy in Aramaic. I'm going to ask him to write 2 things for us. The first thing I'm going to ask him to write is my name in Aramaic. And if you come here to the monastery, you can ask him too. He writes everyone's name with great pleasure, so can you write my name, Aline?
Of course.
The red pen he's using now, he's adding the vowels. Like in Hebrew, the vowels are also written separately, and underneath he's now putting his signature. But for those of you who haven't had the chance to come here yet, I want you to write for us, for all of Brazil, for the whole nation. I want you to also write Brazil in Aramaic. Can you write it?
Yes, I will write Brazil in Aramaic now. The candle represents light in your lives. The olive branch means peace in your hearts. And the blessing of our Father coming from above.
And as he said, the candle is to bring light.
I just wrote it in Aramaic, Brazil. God bless this country and protect it.
So guys, look how beautiful this is. Let's take this one as a souvenir too. And what message do you have for the Brazilian people and for people all over the world who are watching us?
So we love you, Brazilian people, and we are waiting for you to come visit us in the Holy Land, especially in this place. And we also prepare to write each of your names in Aramaic for everyone who comes here, so you can have a blessing in your home. To remind you that this is the original language that Jesus spoke, so that you, your family, and your country can be safe. God bless you, and we are waiting for you to come here.
And one last thing, before we go, I want to ask you to sing for everyone the Lord's Prayer in Aramaic.
The Lord's Prayer. The Lord's Prayer. The Lord's Prayer.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Guys, I hope you enjoyed it. And now we're heading to our next location. Thank you.
Bye.
Well, there's the tip. I hope you enjoyed today's video. A big kiss, and I'll see you next time.